Hello, beautiful souls. Today we are going to get super magical, super witchy, and super artsy fartsy. And we are going to create sigils, which are magical symbols that you charge for whatever purpose. So, this is a wonderful tool for manifestation, for actually really for anything. We're going to cook up some serious magic today, and I'm going to show you step by step how to do this, how to create the symbol, and then how to work with the symbol on an ongoing basis once you have it. So let's get into it. First, what is a sigil? I actually pulled up some information here so that I can read it to you in better words. A sigil is a type of symbol used in magic. The term usually refers to a pictorial signature of a deity or a spirit. In modern use, especially in the context of chaos magic, a sigil refers to a symbolic representation of the practitioner's desired outcome. This is a practice that has been widespread since at least the Neolithic era. I think I started working with sigils in middle school. So it's been forever now. And I have had great success using this tool, which is why I'm really excited to share it with you. So first, you have to decide what kind of sigil do you want to create. So what do you want to make happen? If you could take your magic wand, this is just a ruler, but if you could wave your magic wand and have whatever you want to happen, what would that be? Are you currently trying to bring something into your life? Are you trying to clear something out of your life? Are you looking to create a sigil that is for a short-term goal, or is this for a more permanent, lifelong goal? Get clear on what it is that you want. And once we have that, we can create the sigil. So one example might be, you're writing a book and you are in the process of pitching your book to different publishers. So the goal would be then to have your book picked up and to get an amazing book deal. Let's say that that's what you want to create a sigil for. The way that you would, once you're clear on what it is that you want, you would then craft a really intentional sentence of what it is that you want. And we always want to do this in present tense, as if it has already happened. It is happening right now. We're really tapping into the law of attraction. We're really tapping into this understanding that what you believe, like what you know to be true in your heart, and the way that you're speaking to yourself and the words that you're using, right? Like the spell casting that you are actively doing when you speak is all in effect. So we're gonna write this sentence like that, as if our words matter, because they do. And we're going to be really intentional. We're not going to be wishy-washy about what it is that we want. We're not going to be apologetic about it. We're going to be really confident, certain, and we're going to speak in the present tense. So in that example, if I was writing this sentence, it would look something like, I have an amazing book deal with even more than I could have dreamed of. So I have, now I wish, I would love, it would be so nice. No, I have an amazing book deal with even more than I could have dreamed of, right? So I'm not going to be specific about what it is that the book deal is, because even that, sometimes we wish for a thing, we put it out into the universe that we want a very specific thing, and then we kind of limit ourselves by being too specific. So you might be, an example of too specific is, I want a book deal where I get a deal for my book series, book 1 and 2, and I wanted to pay at least $100, whatever. And I hope my editor is really nice. Like, those are really specific goals. Great, yay. But what if instead of book 1 and 2, this is book 1 and 2, plus they want to turn it into a movie. And then they want to turn it into a TV show. And then they want to do a whole world tour. And then they want to translate it to 27 languages. Like, what if this experience could have been so much bigger than you even thought it could be? And so now you asked for this much when the universe had this much available to you. And so I want you to be specific about what you want, and I want you to be really intentional about how you word it, but be open-ended enough where you're really allowing space for expansion and allowing space for even more than perhaps you are able to see or envision in this moment. So that's one example. That's for like a very short-term goal, meaning, well, yes, creating a book, publishing it, editing it, promoting it, making it into a movie, like that takes time, but it's not necessarily a long-term goal in that, you know, it's not necessarily, I don't want to paint that in the picture of this is going to happen 10 years from now. Like, no, like you're working on the book right now. This is a now type of goal. That's what I mean by short term. Whereas if you want to create a sigil, let's say, for living a really healthy lifestyle, that's a forever thing. That's from now till the day I die, I hope to be a really healthy person. That would be considered more long term. So if I were to write that sentence, it would be something like, I am healthy, vibrant, and luminous, both physically, emotionally, spiritually, and beyond. That's how I would phrase that. So I'm trying to give you some examples here of, as you're thinking about what it is that you really desire in your life right now, short-term, more immediate goals or bigger, longer goals, what that would look like and how you might phrase that. Another way that you can use sigils is to, instead of attracting things into your life or embodying certain qualities or certain energies in your life, maybe you want to repel or release or protect yourself. So let's say you have a dangerous stalker ex who is behaving in a really irrational, dangerous way, and you feel threatened and you feel unsafe. You might want to create a sigil to repel that. The way I might phrase that would be something like, I am safe and fiercely protected by the universe. Actually, I like that because it's very all-encompassing. But if you wanted to be more specific and include that person's name, you might say something like, Joe Schmo has no access to me. I am safe. I am protected from this person and any contact. And now I feel like I'm really pulling this out of thin air, but I hope you understand where it is that I'm going with this. A sigil, this magical symbol that you're going to charge with a specific intention, can be used in endless ways. This is applicable to really anything that you want to make happen, whether that is bringing something in or pushing something out. So take a moment, and you can even pause the video here. Take a moment to think about what it is that you want, and then write your sentence. You want the sentence to be specific, but also open, right? Where applicable. You want it to be in present tense. You want the sentence to be confident, to sound like this is so, this is already happening. And you want the sentence to feel really good. Like you want to be able to say it out loud and be like, yeah, that's it. That's what I want. I feel it in my body. I feel it in my bones. That's exactly what I desire. So look for that feeling. And if at any point you're feeling like, oh, does this sound right? Does this make sense? Is this a sentence? No. If you have any of those feelings, no, keep working at it until you come to the sentence that feels in your heart like this is the truth. This is what you want to manifest. So I recommend that you don't reach out to other people for feedback around this, that you don't go to your trusted friend and say, hey, does this sound like the no, like you really want this to come from you. This is also an exercise in trusting yourself, trusting your magic, looking inward, getting really in tune with your body, with your energy, with what it is that you desire. It's an exercise in claiming what you want and in practicing in that reclamation and in practicing saying it out loud and using your voice and spell casting through your voice and giving meaning and intention to your words. So I want to challenge you to not ask for feedback or opinions, but to really look inward. And on that note, I should share that your sigil is not a symbol that you want to share with other people. You want to keep this private. You want to this is like a sacred symbol that you're creating for yourself. So this is not something you want to post on social media or have somewhere really visible in your home even. I would recommend, if you have an altar space, that you keep your symbol there, but maybe tucked underneath something so that if somebody does walk by it, it's private and it's yours. And the reason we want to keep it private is because not everybody is going to understand your vision for what it is that you desire. And not everybody is going to agree with it or have that same passion towards it. And so when you put it out there, if, your brother saw it and he, even without meaning to, kind of rolled his eyes and said oh, that's what you want to do, that seed of doubt, that tiny ounce of criticism, it's not fueling your magic, it's actually muting it, it's actually dulling it. And so that's what happens when we expose our really sacred desires to the wrong people. Instead of them amplifying and believing in you and believing in what you want and wanting it for you, they can even accidentally kind of dilute it and water it down, or even downright put their negativity on it. So an example of that would be somebody sees your thing that you want, and I'm sure at some point or another you might have experienced this, where you have this shiny idea you're really excited about, and you share it with someone who's not the right person, and that person says oh, that's so stupid, who's gonna want that? Or maybe they don't call it stupid, maybe they say, honey, are you sure people are gonna pay for that? That seems awfully high. Or, honey, are you sure that there's a demand for that? Sometimes people can bring their negativity onto what it is that you're creating in a way that's just not helpful. So long rant there, but I just cannot emphasize enough how important it is that you do this for you, by yourself. Keep it to yourself and rejoice in the passion and in the belief of this thing that you are manifesting for yourself. One exception, I'm going to contradict myself real quick. One exception to this is if you are working with somebody, let's say you and your best friend are starting a business together, and the two of you are like this. You are super in sync. You're so on the same page. You have the same vision. You're both excited. You're both putting everything into this. You're putting everything on the line. You're investing very equally into this thing. Then in that scenario, or in a scenario similar to that, it would make sense for you to create the sigil together if you want to, in which case you would share it amongst yourselves. So, the key point there being that both parties are really invested and really aligned to this vision and hold deep reverence and respect for this vision. Like that would be the time when sharing it with someone would make sense. When the parties working with this, the people working with this magic are in deep alignment around the magic that you are cooking up. Okay, so I'm gonna make a sigil and I am gonna share it with you. This is not a for real symbol that I'm putting out. I'm just gonna be doing this here with you to show you how to do it as an example. And then I'm not really gonna use it, but I want you to be able to walk step by step with me on how to do this. So let's go with the book deal example. I don't currently have a book deal that I am trying to manifest, although it's interesting that that thought keeps coming back. So I don't know. Universe, I'm open to whatever type of creative, artistic vision you want to channel through me. So I'm just kind of making that little note to the universe. Okay, I'm going to write my sentence and I'm going to go with that previous example. I'm going to write, I have an amazing book deal. What did I say before? With even... an amazing book deal that's even better than I could have imagined. So please take a blank piece of paper, maybe you do this in your journal, and write down your sentence at the top of the page. We want that sentence to be like pretty concise. You don't want a whole big paragraph. If your sentence is too long, then that means you need to be like zero in more on what it is that you're putting out there. So pretend this is a blank piece of paper in my journal. I have an amazing book deal that's even better than I could have imagined. So now what we're gonna do, there's different ways to do this. I'm gonna show you two ways. So this is number one. The first way is to get rid of any vowels. So I, A, E. So I'm just crossing off any vowels. So in the word I have, I crossed out I, A, and E. And I'm just going to keep going through and crossing off all of the vowels. Now, I've seen this done in different ways, and I'm sure that if you were to do a little bit of research, you would find other ways that people go about this. And I'm just showing you the way that I do it. And honestly, in my opinion, what matters is not so much the specific way that you do this. What matters is the intention and the certainty and the energy with which you are doing this. The attitude of, I'm going to manifest this. I'm going to make this happen. I am cooking up this magic. Watch. Like, that's the energy that you want to come forward with. Anyways, I cross out all of the vowels. And then I'm going to look for letters that repeat. So the next consonant is H, and I'm going to look to see if I have another H. Oh, I do. So then I'm going to cross out the H's because I have an H. Okay, and then I'm going to look for the next letter, which is the letter V, and I'm going to see, are there any more V's? Oh, yep, so I'm going to cross it out. So V shows up there and there. Okay, and then the next letter is the letter N. Do I have any N's? Yep, so I'm going to cross that out. Okay, the next letter is the letter M. So M, do I have any more M's? Yep, I do have 2 M's, so I'm gonna cross them out. So I'm looking for duplicates. And then the next letter is the letter Z. I don't have any more Z's, so I'm gonna write the letter Z under, and now I know that Z is one of the letters that I'm gonna use for creating the symbol. Okay, moving on, the letter G. Do I have any other G's? Yep, so crossing that out, and then the letter B as in boy. Yep, it shows up right there. The letter K. Nope, I don't have any more K's. So I'm gonna write it down next to the Z. I know I'm gonna use that. The letter D. Yep, D shows up multiple times. The letter L. Yep, that one shows up. Okay, the letter T. Yep, I see duplicates of that. Okay, the letter S. Oh, okay. There's only one letter S, so I'm gonna use that. And then the last row here, we have the letter C, and it doesn't show up again. So then these are the letters that I'm left over with. So I started off by crossing off all the vowels and then crossing off any duplicate letters, and whichever ones were not the duplicate, this is what I was left with. So now when I go to create my symbol, I'm going to be using these letters. Now I mentioned that there's another way to do this, and that would be instead of crossing off the letters that are duplicates, only using the letters that are duplicates. So that's another way that you might approach this process of coming up with your final letters that you're going to be using. So now that we have these letters, what are we going to do with them? This is where the creativity, artsy fartsy part comes in. So now we want to create a symbol that uses these letters. So there's no right or wrong way to do this. This is really like use your imagination, use your artistic skills. And if you feel like you have no artistic skills, no problem. No one's gonna judge. You do you. So you can turn these letters upside down. So let's see. The Z, instead of having it be like this, I could have it be like that. Or I can do it in reverse where it looks like this. Or I might use just the edge, this like triangular or angular edge, and have that be the part of the letter that I use in my symbol. So to clarify, you're gonna look at these letters, what they look like, and either incorporate the whole letter in your design or incorporate certain parts of the letter in your design, in your symbol. So it's like you're cooking up this, you're creating this image, this picture, and you're painting it with these colors, meaning you're using whatever visual pieces are available from these letters and putting it into your symbol. So do I have a napkin or something? I'm just gonna erase this like that. Okay, so now I'm just gonna wing this. I'm just gonna draw a symbol using these letters. Okay, well, I love the curvature of the letter C, so I think I'm gonna start there. But instead of making it like a regular letter C, I'm gonna draw my letter C like that. So I've just used up that ingredient, that letter. Okay, now, ooh, okay. I'm gonna go with the letter K, but I'm gonna also put that upside down. And so you see how like You can see the letter K here, but I'm putting it like this. And now it's kind of starting to look like maybe a bowl over a fire, or this is the artist in me. I'm starting to see things. Okay, so I used up the letter K. Now I have the letter Z and S. How do I want to incorporate this into the design? Ooh, okay. Well, I kind of like the idea of the letter Z kind of looking like a lightning bolt, like it's electrifying. It's giving a boost of energy into my sigil. So I'm gonna make the letter Z kind of like in the upper corner like that, kind of zapping into this bowl here. Okay, so I've used up that one, and now how do I want to incorporate the letter S? I think I'll put it like, oh, and I think I want to give it a little bit of a spiral into the S. Okay, so then that's my symbol. That's my symbol. You see how I just took the remaining letters and then found a way to rearrange them and overlap them to make my symbol? That's it. So let's say you get to this place and you've utilized all the letters, but it's feeling a little busy, or it's feeling a little plain, or it's feeling a little off. You can now use your artistic license to edit this design in a way that feels really good. Ideally, you want your final symbol to not be too complicated. You want it to be something that you can easily draw, especially if you intend to use it a lot and work with it a lot, and if you intend to like if this is, let's say you created a symbol to help you with your anxiety, and that's something that you see yourself using a lot and drawing a lot, then you ideally want to make it something that you can draw pretty quickly and pretty easily. So at this point, if you wanted to edit your design, go ahead and do so. Okay, and then this is your sigil. So now let's talk about different ways that you can utilize your symbol once you have it. So like I mentioned before, if you want to draw this on a pretty piece of paper and tuck it somewhere in your altar, great. If you want to take that piece of paper and like work with it during new moon or full moon rituals, and you can decide which one is the right one depending on the nature of your symbol, if you're either repelling or attracting something. You can utilize the symbol when, okay, let's go back to the anxiety example. Let's say that you created a sigil for anxiety, something that says, I feel calm and at peace, which is, I guess, the opposite of anxiety, right? Let's say that was an energy that you needed to tap into often. Let's say you are at a super stressful work meeting and you feel like you are about to lose your mind, and you want to call upon the power and the energy of your anti-anxiety sigil that you created. You might, in your meeting, kind of with your finger, draw that symbol on your other palm. And that's something you can do discreetly underneath the table. That's something that you could while your boss is talking about whatever, you can draw that symbol on the desk while you're looking, you're paying attention to the meeting, you're maybe even making eye contact, or you're kind of looking away. You can draw the symbol in the table in front of you. That's a very discreet way for you to access and maybe sort of reactivate the power of your sigil on the fly, on the go, when you need it. So that's one way. Let's say you created a sigil for boosting your creativity and for helping you feel really inspired, for helping you work more efficiently through your creative process. Maybe then, right before, like in my case, right before working on a new painting, I might go to my sigil. Let's say I have it printed on a piece of paper, and I might just hold it in my hand, or I might just hold it up to my heart, or I might hold it up to my third eye and just whisper the words of it right before my painting session. Let's say you are on vacation. You might have your sigil in your journal, and you can look at it and just by taking it in through your eyes on the go, have access to your sigil that way. So there's really an infinite way for you to connect with your sigil, and I recommend that you experiment and that you use it often, especially the kinds of sigils that are for attracting or embodying a specific energy. The more you engage with that symbol, the more you're feeding it and the more it's feeding you. Now, if you have a sigil that's for repelling or for protection, maybe you don't feel the need to engage with it as often. Maybe you feel like, I made it, I created this sigil, I put it out into the universe, I feel it in my heart that this sigil is working and it's doing its thing. I don't feel the need to go back to it. Maybe you place it somewhere. Let's say you created a sigil for protecting and blessing your home, for keeping out intruders, for like any kind of home protection type of blessing. Maybe you put that sigil, you draw it in the ground in front of your home or in your backyard, and then you put something over it, like a decorative vase or a pot with plants, or a stepping stone, or you plant a tree over it. That symbol, that energy is going to be in the space. So be creative. There's so many ways that you can play with this, and I want to emphasize the word play. Have fun. Try it out. Draw it in the air. If you're out in a hike and you want to feel the energy of that sigil, draw it in the air in front of you. Now, please do keep it private if this is not a sigil that you're specifically sharing with someone, and memorize it. So the simpler it is and the more you draw it, the easier it'll be for you to access it on the go if you need it. Or if that feels overwhelming to you, just having it somewhere where you can access it privately is also really good. And as I say that, I just thought of those little locket necklaces that you can put a picture in. What if you had your sigil drawn on a tiny piece of paper inside of a locket that you keep and that you wear? What a beautiful way to work with that magic. And if, let's say you created a sigil because you wanted to manifest something short term, like you're studying for the bar exam and you wanted to get all A's. I've never taken a bar. I don't even know how the scoring goes. But let's say you had this goal for this exam and you made a sigil for it, and you're studying and you're preparing for the test. You go to take the test, you get your results back, and you crushed it. At that point, the sigil has done its work, it's done its thing, and it's over. In which case, I recommend taking a moment to either take that little piece of paper where you did the sigil and burn it so that it dissipates and gets repurposed and recycled back into the earth, that energy. And also taking a moment to express your gratitude to that magic for supporting you in the ways that it did. So for sigils that are of short-term use, once the thing has been fulfilled, dissolve it, burn it, plant it in the ground, do whatever gratitude ritual feels appropriate to you. And that's a beautiful way to acknowledge and give thanks for the magical work. So that's it for now. I could talk about this for forever, but I want to end it here. Please do let me know if you try this, how it felt for you. Did you have any challenges along the way? Do you have any questions? And do you have any other ideas for how you want to engage with your sigil? Let me know. Alrighty, until next time.